Right, it's time for our sight singing now, so I hope that you have your books ready. We are starting on page 8, exercise 11, so that's where we finished off last time. We finished the page before. So we're still working with do, mi and so. So do, mi, so. And we're going to look at the top of page 8. We've got some 2-beat notes now, which you will know. So when you look at that first bar in part 1 and the second bar, each of those notes have got 2 beats each. Okay, so we hold the note for the count of 2 in our head. Okay, so we would sing do, mi, so, mi. Okay, so if I put the metronome on, it might help it make it a little bit clearer for you if you're not sure. There's your metronome beat. That's 1 beat that you can hear. So the first note will have 2 of those. Okay, so you would sing do, mi, so, mi. Right, do you want to just try that with me? 2, 3, 4. Do, mi, so, mi. Good. Right, let's just make sure we have the right pitch now to try and sight sing part 1 together. There's your note, it's F, and that's where we're going to start. On your own, ready, go. Good. Okay, so let me sing that for you. You can sing again, and we'll hopefully what you sang before sounds like what we're going to sing now. So sing along with me as we do part 1 again. There's your do, do, mi, so, mi, mi, so, mi, do, do, mi, do, mi, so, mi, so, mi. How did you do? Right, let's look at part 2, which starts on the 3rd bar. So we're going to wait for part 1 to start before part 2 comes in. And we know usually if we have something like that, it's usually called a round or a canon. And if we look at this, it actually is starting the same. The first 4 bars are exactly the same as the first 4 bars of part 1, and then it changes towards the end. Okay, so let's try part 2, and we're going to have to count 2 bars, rest. So that's 2 lots of 4 before you come in. Okay, you're also starting on the same do. Do. Okay, so remember that. Okay, we're going to start counting now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Do. Okay, right, let's try and do that all together, and then what we'll do is what we normally do, where you guys sing part 1 all the way through, and I'll sing part 2, and then you go into part 2 while I'm singing part 1. Okay, so let's try and first of all sing part 2 together. Have you remembered where your do is? Do. Okay, we're going to start counting now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Do, mi, so, mi, so, mi, do, do, mi, do, so, mi. Okay, well, good. Well done. Okay, so this time you're going to start. I'll give you do, and then you're just gonna go for it, okay? And then I'm going to join you when you get onto the third bar, all right? And then when we go back to the beginning, you have to wait 2 bars, okay? Follow. There's your do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, mi, so, mi, so, mi, do, do, mi, do, 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 so, mi. Get ready, 3, 4, do, mi, so, mi. Your turn. Mi, so, mi, do, do. Well done. Okay, right, so let's move on to the next section. We've got just what they're showing you here is how you can mark your music to count the beats. So if you were to mark it, you'd have to sort of imagine where every beat would be in between the notes. For example, if you're looking at the second part of that on the 2 beat notes, you have to really kind of have that very regular sense. But you don't have to do that exercise. If you want to, that's fine. It's your book. Do it. If you want to do it, that's fine. But that's an idea of how to be aware of the beats if you're not singing every single beat. Okay, so exercise 12. We have a new do, and you'll be pleased. Some of you will be pleased to know that do is a bit lower now. So do is middle C, and do you know what? We're just going to go straight into this. I think we're just going to do it. Part 1, part 2. And then we're just going to, and then we're going to sing the 2 parts, because it should be quite straightforward. There's no time signature change or anything like that. But if you notice at the top of the next page, we've got some quavers. Okay, so maybe I'll make my beat a little bit slower. Okay, so when you get onto the second to last bar, you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. Tate, 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 ta, if that makes any sense to you. That's sometimes the way that we teach counting with different note values. So 2 quavers would be tate. Joe, I'm going to be bold and we're going to stick with the same metronome beat, okay? So let's just sing it together straight through, okay? I'm trusting you to do this while I'm singing along as well with you, okay? It just cuts it down a bit. There's your do, do, mi, so, mi, do. Okay, that's what we're working with now, okay? I'm going to give you a metronome beat, I'll count you in, and then we're ready to go. So part 1 and then straight into part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, do, so, do, so, do, do, so, do, do, so, do, 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 so, do, do. Second part, go. Do, do, mi, 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 so, mi, 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 so, mi, 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 so, mi, mi, mi. Ooh, it's quick, isn't it? Right, we're going to go straight into it. You're going to sing part 1, I'm going to sing part 2. We're both starting on this do. 1, 2, 3, go. Do, do, mi, 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 so, mi, 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 so, mi, 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 so, mi, mi, mi. Second part, go. Do, so, do, so, do, do, so, do, do, so, do, 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 so, do, do. How did you do? Okay, I think we'll leave it there because the next one is quite long, and that's probably enough for now. But by all means come back to these and practice them. It's really, really good to kind of just keep refreshing your mind, and you know, if it helps to use the signs, it certainly helps me. It really does. And you'll be pleased to know we're not going to introduce any other notes of the tonic sol fa scale for quite some time. So we're going to be working with do, mi, and so for quite a while yet. So you should be quite used to it by the time we're ready to move on to one of the new notes in the scale. Okay, so we'll leave that there. Well done. And we're going to move on to some African songs next.